This is part 2 of the Unit 8 test review, so I'm just going to pick up where I left off in the last video. Use the information to answer questions 17 through 18. It says Robert wants to buy a new Sony television. The table shows this week's advertised prices for the television Robert wants to purchase. 17. How much money will Robert save if he purchases the television this week at Best Buy? The Best Buy is this one right here. So normally at Best Buy it would cost $599. He's got a 30% in-store coupon, so I need to figure out the cost with the coupon. So this is percent of a number, so I can multiply $599 times 0.30, and that would be 0, 0, 0. Start with a 0, 27, 29, and 5 plus 3 is 15, plus 2 is 17. 07971. Move your decimal 2 places. So he's going to save $1,709.70. So the cost is going to be $599 minus $179.70. That would be 0. 10 minus 7 is 3. Bring down your decimal. I'm going to borrow again. So 18 minus 9 is 9, 8 minus 7 is 1, 5 minus 1 is 4. So he actually ends up spending $419.30 at Best Buy. You could also do this problem. If he saves 30%, you could do kind of a shortcut. If he saves 30%, then he's paying 70%. So you could also do $599 times 0.70 and get the same answer. So just another way to think about that. 18 says, which store should Robert choose to purchase the television? All right, so we know how much Best Buy is going to cost if we compare that to Costco. Same television, same regular price. But Costco has a 15% discount plus a mail-in rebate. So I need to find 15% of $599. So if I go ahead and do that, oh, I'm running out of room. Okay, so $599 times 0.15. 9 times 5 is 45. 9 times 5 is 45, plus 4 is 49. 5 times 5 is 25, plus 4 is 29. Start with a 0. 1 times 9, 1 times 9, 1 times 5. That would be 5, 18, 19, 8, 2 decimal places. So at Costco, you're going to save $89.85, but you also get a $50 mail-in rebate, so it's kind of like you're going to get $50 back in the mail after you mail in. It's kind of like a coupon. So if I add that to what he's already going to save, I get 5, 8, 9, 13. So he's going to save $139.85. So if I subtract that from the $599, I can figure out the cost at Costco. So I'm going to have to borrow. 10 minus 5 is 5. 9 minus 8 is 1. Bring down your decimal. Borrow again. 18 minus 9 is 9. 8 minus 3 is 5. 4 minus 1 is 4. Or 5 minus 1 is 4. So at Costco, it's going to cost $459.15. So if I compare the two, he's saving more money if he goes to Best Buy. So which store should he choose? Best Buy is a better choice. Because television or the TV will only cost $419.30, while at Costco it will cost $459.15. Okay. 19 says there are 4 types of questions on Miss Martin's English final exam. The percent of each type of question is shown in the graph. There are a total of 40 questions on the test. Essay questions have a value of 15 points each. The remaining questions have a value of 3 points each. What is the maximum number of points that can be earned on the final exam? Okay. So the 40 is talking about the number of questions, while everything else is talking about points. All right, so I need to know how many questions there are I need to know how many essay questions are, because they get more points while everything else gets 3 points. All right, so if I want to know 10% of 40, that's a shortcut. I can do that. So 40 times 10%, make it a decimal, would be 0.10. 0, 0, start with the 0, 0, 4, 0, 0, 4, so that would be 4. So that tells me there are 4 essay questions. And if everything else is 3 points, then I really don't need to know all these exactly. I just know that there are, the rest are going to be 3 points. So if I subtract 40 minus 4, that tells me there are 36 questions that are not 15 points each. So 4 questions are 15 points, so that would be 15 times 4, which would be 60 points. And then the rest, 36 questions, are going to be 3 points. So 3 times 6 is 18, 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10. So those questions will be 108 points. So if I want to know the maximum number of points, I would need to add these two together. So if I add 60 plus 108, I get 168. So maximum points, 168. All right, let's keep going. Number 20 says the dot plot represents the total number of runs scored in each game by Eastview's softball team this year. What percent of games had 6 runs scored? Round to the nearest whole percent if necessary. All right, so I'm looking for the games with 6 runs. So if I count these up, 1, 2, 3, 4, it tells me there were 4 games scored. But I need to compare, that is the part, so I need to compare that to the whole. So if I count up all the games, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. I know that 4 games out of 21 games had 6 runs scored. So then that's just a proportion. 4 times 100 is 400, and then I would divide by 21. That'll go once. When I subtract, I'm going to get 19, bring down the 0. 21 will go into 190. 9 times 1 is 9. 9 times 2 is 18. I'm rounding to a whole percent, so I need to go one more time. 1, add a decimal, and a 0. 21 will go into 10, 0 times. All right, 0 is not going to round this up. So what percent of games? 19% of games had 6 runs. Okay. 21, what type of financially irresponsible decisions lead to low credit scores? Okay, so if you have a low credit score, it's probably because you make late payments, or you skip payments, where you don't pay at all, or you have a lot of credit, like too much credit, okay, or too many loans, or just like a big loan already. All right, so you're risky if you already have a lot of loans. That's when you're more likely to have a negative net worth, and so banks know that you're a risk in case something happens. They know you're not going to be able to pay your loan. Okay, 22, what kind of actions can you take to improve your credit score? All right, so what you would do is want to get rid of these. You could pay on time or ahead. So if you owe money, like on a house, and let's say you owe $200 every month on your house, if you pay an extra $300 on your house, you're going to pay off your loan even sooner. So that's a good thing to do. You can pay off debt. So get rid of some of that debt if you have too much. And you can get rid of credit cards, right? If you have too much credit, then get rid of some of it. Even if you're not using them, sometimes banks look at the number of credit cards you have and think, oh, well, they may not use them now, but if they started using them later, then they could accumulate all this debt. All right, 23, what kind of actions should you not take to improve your credit score? All right, so if it's already bad, what should you not do? You should not get more credit cards. Don't get more credit cards if it's already bad. and don't borrow more money. Okay, so if you're trying to improve it, you're trying to pay those things down. So if you're trying to, I guess if you're not trying to improve it, you would do the opposite. All right, 24. Leela wanted to go school shopping. She looked at her favorite school store's website to determine what to purchase and to make a list, and made a list of the following items. If Texas sales tax is 6.5%, what will her total be for 2 scarves, 1 pair of shoes, and 6 t-shirts? Okay, so I need to find the cost of the items plus the tax. So she wants 2 scarves. So scarves are $6 each, so she buys 2 of them. That would be $12. She wants 1 pair of shoes, so that's $32 for a pair. And she wants 6 t-shirts. The t-shirts are 3 for $10, so if she buys 6 of them, that would be $20. That's 0, 0, 4, 6, $64 is the cost before tax, but the sales tax is 6.5%, so I'm doing percent of this, so that's a shortcut. So I can do, if I make this into a decimal, it's going to be 0.065, and then I'm going to multiply it times 64. That would be 20, 24, 26, and then start with a 0. 5 times 6 is 30. 6 times 6 is 36, plus 3 is 39. That's 0, 6, 11, 4, 1, 2, 3. So $4.16 in tax. So if I want to know the total, I need to add these 2 numbers together then. So $64 for the items, and then $4.16 for the tax. So that would be $68.16 total. And I just want to bubble that in. So my cents is going to go after my decimal. 68 goes before it. Since it's positive, I don't need to bubble in the positive sign. It'll assume it's positive if I just leave that part blank. So 68 and then 1, 6. All right. 25 says Cormac created the budget below. Which statement best represents the information in Cormac's budget? So Cormac spends 45% of his budget on rent. So I can see that his total here is $1,250. So if he spent 45% on rent, then I would need to multiply $1,250 times 0.45. That would be 0, 25, 2. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 1 is 6. Start with a 0, 0, 20. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 2 is 10, and then 5. That would be 0, 5, 2, 6, 5, and there are 2 decimals. So he spent $562. If it's 45%, then it should be this much. But I can see here it says that he spent $520. So this is not correct. He says Cormac spends 5% of his budget on phone and internet. So it looks like that's supposed to be $60. So if I do 5% of the total, then that would be $1,250. And make that a decimal would be 0.05. So 0, 25, 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12. And then 6, maybe my decimal, 62.50, okay, is not the $60 that he actually spends. 15% on college savings, so 170. So I'm trying to do 15% of the 1250. 0, 25, 12, 6. Start with a 0, 0, 5, 2, 1, 0, 5, 7, 8, 1. $187.50, which is not 170. Okay. So how about this one? Cormac spends $30% of his budget on food. So food, 30% of this, $12.50. 0, 0, 0, 0. Start with a 0, 0, 15. 6 times 2 is, or 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. 3 times 1 is 3. And then add those up. All right, so it says he spent 30%, which is $375. on food. All right, which is also not correct. All right, so what means is I have to find the statement that best represents the information. So I have to find the closest one. So 562, I'm comparing that to the rent. So that's about $40 off. 5% is 62, comparing that to 60, so that's about $2 off. That's pretty close. College savings, I'm comparing 187 to 170, so that's $17 off, more or less. And then on food, 375 to 50 is $25 off. So the closest would be B. And this is, we didn't do anything wrong, okay? It's just sometimes they are not going to give you an exact answer, and so you have to go with the best representation. So in this case, our best representation is the 62.5. If you tried to figure out the actual percent that he spends, like if we went back and said, okay, well, let's do this a little differently. Let's do 60 over 1250 and actually find the percent. Then we would get 6,000. And if we divide it by 1250, okay, it would go, I think it's 4 times 0, 20, 8, 10, it would be 5,000. And then if I subtract that, I get 1,000, add a decimal and a 0. And then 1250, it'll go into 10,000. 8 times 0, 40, 16, 20. Oh, so it's exactly 10,000 times. So this is 4.8% of his budget. So if you rounded it, it would round to 5%. So that's not a bad representation. And we picked the closest one anyway, so we're correct. All right, 26. The Gonzalez family budget is $3,785. $400 was removed from the savings piece of the budget. Okay, so from this part of the budget. So if we subtract $400 from this, and that money was used to pay down a car loan each month, what percent of the budget would be for transportation? All right, so we're taking this 400 and we're adding it to this 400. And we were asked to find the percent. Okay. Oh, and they tell us the budget is $3,785. All right, so we take it from here and we put it in here. Then transportation is now $700 compared to $3,785. And then we're solving for the percent. So we're going to multiply 700 times 100, which is going to be 70,000. And then we need to divide that by $3,785. All right. So if I'm trying to figure out that, it'll go once. That's 5. That's 9. That's 9, and that's 6. So 9 minus 7 is 2. 6 minus 3 is 3. Okay, and then I can bring down another 0. So $3,785 into 32,150. I really don't know. I'm just going to have to start guessing. So $3,785 times 7, 35, 56, 59, 49 plus 5 is 55. And then 21, 26. Okay, so probably not enough. If I did $3,785 times 8, that's 40. 64 plus 4 is 68. 56 plus 6 is 62. 24 plus 6 is 30. All right, that's pretty close. So 8, 30, 280, and then that's a 0. That's 15, which is 7. That would be 10, which is 8, and that would be 1. Okay, and then I'm rounding to the nearest percent, so I've got to go one more step. So 3,785 into 18,070. Let's try 4. 20. 32 plus 2 is 34. 28 plus 3 is 31. 3 times 4 is 12. Plus 3 is 15. That's pretty close. 3785 times 5 is 25. 42. 35 plus 4 is 39, 15, 18 is too much. All right, so 4 times. And I really don't even have to subtract this because I'm rounding to the nearest percent. The 4 is not enough to round this up, so this rounds to 18%. Okay? All right. All right, and then as we mentioned in class, the last part of your test, you'll be able to use the calculator. And so in class, you'll turn in the first part of your test when you're done, and then you'll get this last part to do and a calculator to finish it with. So I'm going to stop here and do the part 3 of the review using the calculator.